They say love builds a marriage, but what if greed destroys it? This is the story of a man who had everything but lost it all because he wanted too much. Amara was a businesswoman in her early 30s. She owned a booming fashion company. She had branches scattered all over Nigeria. Then she met Chike, a handsome young man who sweeps her off her feet with sweet words and charming. Everyone around Amara warned her that Chike was after her because of her money, but she paid deaf ears because she was so in love with him. The day was bright, filled with music and laughter. Amara walked down the aisle in her flowing white gown, her face glowing with joy, guests whispering in admiration. She was not just beautiful, but also one of the most successful young women in the city. Her fashion business had grown from a small shop to a household name. At the end of the aisle stood Chike, her groom. He was tall, handsome, with a charming smile that could melt any woman's heart. He held her hands tightly as they exchanged vows. "I will love you forever," Chike whispered. His voice was smooth. Amara smiled, her heart pounding with happiness. She believed every word he said to her. To her, this was the beginning of the fairy tale marriage she had always wanted. But behind Chike's smile was a different story. As he slid the ring onto her finger, his eyes lingered, not on her face, but on the glittering diamond. Married with Amara was sweet. Their home was a mansion in the city, decorated with gold and filled with luxury. Amara worked hard, spending long hours managing her business, while Chike enjoyed the fruits of her labor. He drove her sleek cars, wore her money in designer suits, and dined in the finest restaurants. He was always seen at different clubs spending money unnecessarily. At first, Chike pretended to be the supportive husband. He would hug her after a long day and say, "Don't worry, my love, I am proud of you." But inside, something else grew: envy. He became envious of Amara. Each time people praised Amara's success, his chest tightened. They called her the strong woman, the smart entrepreneur, while he was just Amara's husband. One evening, Chike sat in a bar with his old friend Mr. Okoro. "Chike," Okoro said, leaning close, "you are a man, yet your wife is the one shining. Does it not bother you?" Chike frowned. "It does bother me, my brother. People respect her more than me. A whole me, the man of the house." Okoro smirked. "Then do something about it. Why let her hold all the power? If you can control her wealth, you can control everything. After all, you are the man of the house. Exercise your authority as the husband of the house." The words settled in Chike's heart like poison. From that night, his smile toward Amara was no longer love. It was strategy. The next morning, Chike sat with Amara at breakfast table. "My love," he began sweetly, "I have been thinking of starting a business, something small, so I can support you and ease the burden from you." Amara's eyes lit up. "That's wonderful, Chike. Tell me what you need." "Just a little capital," he said smoothly. "With your help, I will grow." Without wasting time, Amara transferred money into his bank account. She believed in him. She wanted her husband to succeed. But instead of starting a business, Chike spent the money on himself, buying expensive watches, drinks, and partying with friends. Weeks passed. Chike returned to Amara. "My business needs more funds," he lied. "If you trust me, invest again, my love." Amara hesitated this time. "Chike, the last money I gave you "What happened to it?" she asked. He frowned, pretending to be hurt. "So you don't trust me? I'm your husband, Amara. Or do you think I want to fail? Do you think I like seeing you stressing yourself while working so hard to provide for the family?" Amara agreed. She gave him more money. But her friend Ngozi noticed the changes. One afternoon, she pulled Amara aside. "Be careful, Amara," she warned. "I don't think Chike is using that money for business." Amara sighed, torn between love and doubt. Greed consumed Chike. He wanted more. He wanted everything. Late at night, while Amara slept, he sneaked into her office. He opened her safe, studied her documents, and copied her signature. "This company will soon be mine," he whispered to himself. He prepared forged papers that would transfer ownership of the entire fashion empire into his name. On the day he planned to finalize the transfer, fate turned against him. Amara walked into the office unexpectedly. She froze at the door, her eyes wide. "Chike, what are you doing?" Chike's hand trembled. The forged papers lay on the desk. For the first time, his charm failed. "Amara, I can explain." Her voice broke. "You were never with me for love. Were you?" It was the money. Tears streamed down her face, but her heart turned cold. Amara exposed Chike's lie. Lawyers were called. His accounts were frozen. His friends who once praised him abandoned him. Okoro, the one who fueled his greed, laughed behind his back and disappeared. In just a few days, Chike went from living in luxury to sleeping on a broken bench, drenched by rain. People who once admired him crossed the road to avoid him. He had nothing, no wife, no wealth, no respect. Amara, though heartbroken, refused to break. With her mother's encouragement, she rebuilt her business. "My daughter," Mama Ifeoma said gently, "a husband who builds on lie cannot last. You will rise again." Amara nodded, wiping her tears. She focused on her work and soon restored her company's strength. Months later, Chike stood across the street, watching as Amara drove away in her car. She was radiant, successful, and free. His heart ached. He had once held her love, her trust, and her wealth, but greed had blinded him, and now he had nothing. He whispered to himself, "If only I had been contented." But it was too late.